49ers HQ, Levi Stadium, I think it's a good time to reset the Brandon Aiyuk situation. Dating back to the trade request on July 17th, there have been three general possibilities. Option one has been for the 49ers to just engage in a stare down with Brandon Aiyuk, don't blink, and wait for him to come to your take it or leave it offer. Option two has been for the 49ers to sweeten the pot with their offer and hope that that encourages this to come to a quicker resolution. Although there'd be a downside there because the 49ers are obviously trying to fit into a very tight salary cap situation. And then option three has been trade Brandon Aiyuk. All three of these have been possible, obviously in varying degrees of probability. The probability may have shifted over time. Circumstances, deadlines cause probabilities to shift. There have been rumors in all directions. Just the other day, a hug on the field made people think that Brandon Aiyuk had blinked in the staring contest and the 49ers were going to re-sign him. Obviously, that wasn't true. Now, the flavor of the day, based on rumors, seems to be the trade. I will say this, and I think that it's a really, really important point. And here's the overarching point regarding a trade. If there's no extension, there is no trade. So Brandon Aiyuk has to agree with a potential new team to an extension to be traded. That's a major hurdle to clear. I think Adam Schefter on the Pat McAfee show actually articulated this really, really well. Schefter said, and I quote, "If Brandon Aiyuk doesn't want to go to a team, he can say, I'm not taking that contract. He has the ability to say no to these teams if he doesn't want to go there." End quote. That's the only bit of leverage Brandon Aiyuk has in this situation. He could say no to potential trade. Otherwise, the 49ers obviously hold a lot of cards. And I will say the only option out of the three that I listed that the 49ers remain absolutely not incentivized to do is budge on their offer. That's option number two. I don't think the 49ers are in a position where they have to raise their offer to Brandon Aiyuk to rush to get something done successfully because time is on their side with Brandon Aiyuk being under contract. The rest of this, I think it's extremely unpredictable, as Adam Schefter said. And that's why we leave all options on the table, and that's why we're not jumping to conclusions in any of our reporting. This is a delicate, emotional negotiation. I think it's becoming apparent, and if it wasn't already apparent based on some of the social media posts and the "they don't want me anymore" Brandon Aiyuk video, that emotions have come into play in this negotiation. So we'll see where it ends up, but we do know that the 49ers have had a take it or leave it offer out for Brandon Aiyuk, and it does seem, and I think you could just use logic to put two and two together, that staying with the 49ers and playing for San Francisco and with a really good quarterback like Brock Purdy and a really good offensive system, there seems to be a whole lot of value, potential value in that for Brandon Aiyuk. 49ers also don't have quite as many resources to go around under the salary cap to pay Brandon Aiyuk as another team might. So I think that's where the big decision tree comes in. That's the latest. And, you know, we just talked to some of the 49ers assistant coaches at Levi's. Brandon Aiyuk has been in on meetings. And I asked Leonard Hankerson, the 49ers wide receiver coach, how active he's been in these meetings. And I think that Leonard Hankerson's answer to all of these details surrounding Brandon Aiyuk's presence in the building, because we don't see him out on the practice field, at least we don't see him practicing on the practice field, but I think Hankerson's answer about Aiyuk's presence and his helpfulness to guys like Ricky Pearsall is illuminating and is important context as we continue to wait for the result of the ongoing stalemate.
Is it unusual to have Brandon around off the field but not on the field, or is that just part of this business?
That's part of it.
Just deal
You know, that's part of it. You know, at the end of the day, right? Regardless of what goes on the business side, right? I can't do anything about that, right? The guys on the field can't do anything about that. We still got to show up and we still got to work, you know. And even though Brandon is dealing with that right now, he's still around and he's still being the teammate that he is. You know, he's in the meeting rooms. He's very active, you know. So really, we got to continue to, you know, progress, and we got to continue to work, and we got to continue to take care, you know, the job that we're here to do.
And on the field, you get other guys get additional work.
You know, and there's a lot of reps to go around.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of reps to go around, regardless of not. I don't know how big of a difference it will be. You know, we got guys out there and they still get the opportunity because, right, it's a camp time, right? We got to figure out, right, who's there, who's going to be able to, right, make the team, who's going to be able to be a guy we can count on, you know. So I don't know how big of a difference it will be if he was there.
Ricky mentioned that Brandon has been a big resource for him. Their connection obviously goes back to ASU, but has Brandon been just as active in the meeting room as prior?
He's been good. You know, he's been good. He's been sitting in the meeting room. He's been active. He's been talking. You know, and that's in the meeting room. You know, obviously I know they communicate more in the locker room itself. You know, we only get 45 minutes to an hour in there, so I can't have those guys talking all over the place. But you know, they do a great job staying in communication and being hands-on with each other. You know, because this is a team thing. You know, at the end of the day, right? We all want the best for one another. You know, and like I say, Brandon has been here, Debo has been here, JJ has been here. You know, so those guys are open to giving out the information to the newer guys.